Aula do Avançado 3, terminando a parte Review of Important Points. Advanced Class 3, terminando a Review of Important Points. Hi, Claudia.
Hello, teacher.
How are you? I'm very
good.
well. Is it still cold there?
Yes, here is still cold. For me, every temperature less than 20 degrees is cold. I live in Rio.
Yeah. So my air conditioning is set at 19 degrees. Okay.
Okay. No.
19 for me, it's beautiful. Okay.
In my house, in the summer, I leave my air conditioner at 23 degrees.
Oh my gosh. This is not, this is not air conditioning. This is not air conditioning. This is heater. Heater.
No.
Yes, it's heater. Hello again, Regina. Hi, Erika. Hello, Warlson.
Hello.
Hi, Raquel. Carol. Hello.
Hi, teacher.
How was your day? Good?
Mine?
Yes.
I am alive, teacher.
So it was very good.
Yeah, very good.
Yes. If you survive in one more day, it's very good. Okay?
Yes.
Okie dokie. Let's continue. Let me ask something. Everyone was able to get the material or no?
Yes.
Yes. Because I myself, for example, I could not access the Google Docs. So I complained and they said, no, but you are authorized, but I cannot access. I have the material because I prepared, not because I got it. So if you ever happens that not to have the material, just let me know, okay? Send me an email. Everybody knows my email, okay? And I will gladly send it to you by email, okay? Just in case you don't get it, all right? But at least until the end of this week, everyone has the material. So let's continue from where we stopped yesterday. And Raquel, can you believe that I remember?
Really, teacher? Nice.
See, isn't it amazing? Now,
yes,
I don't know.
It is. I was just prepared to say the page.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm right, but I think we stopped here.
Let me see. Yeah, you are right.
Yes.
Let me be honest with you. I discovered today something that I didn't know.
What, teacher?
I was very surprised when I opened the file. Okay,
which was on this page.
No. There appeared a message here on my right-hand side. Would you like to continue from where you stopped yesterday?
So you didn't remember. The technology remember for you.
Exactly.
Again.
Yeah, I love technology. So I just clicked there and pew, the page opened right here. That's right.
That's nice.
Yes, I love this. I hope he continues doing this every day. Anyway, what are we going to talk again? Maybe some of the students like Warlson, Eric, I don't know if Regina has seen this.
Yes, teacher.
Yes, I would like to talk again about the importance of the passive voice. It's very interesting because in Portuguese, we tend to use active voice all the time. For some reason, passive voice, I don't know if it's because it's difficult or what, we don't use it. And Brazilians end up, again, the problem is Portuguese. Every time you think in Portuguese, you will make a mistake for sure. Brazilians construct strange sentences in English. Like, oh, I'm from Minas Gerais. Oh, yes? What is the economy basis in Minas? Ah, they produce coffee there. You see?
Coffee is produced.
Yeah, I don't produce coffee. I don't remember any friend of mine that produces coffee. So why am I saying they produce coffee in Minas? You see? So I would like to start this lesson analyzing some classical mistakes, and then we can introduce the topic. Okay? So Claudia, can you read this for me, please?
In every language, there are two ways of saying things, actively and passively. Active voice. A characteristic of active voice sentence is that the subject performs the action of the verb and the direct object is the goal or the recipient. The fireman extinguished the fire.
Extinguished.
Extinguished. Oh.
Yeah. Oh.
Extinguished.
Let me make life easier for you. Even Americans don't like to say this word.
Put out.
The fireman put out the fire. Okay. This is how a normal
construction. Yes. Put out. Okay.
Put out the fire. Yes. Put out is a phrasal verb that means to extinguish. But it's much easier than extinguished. Okay?
Extinguished.
Okay. And the passive voice.
Passive voice. A characteristic of passive voice sentence is that the object or goal of the action functions as the sentence subject, and the main verb phrase includes the verb to be and the past participle. The fire was extinguished.
Okay, let's
I'll
make
try
it.
The fire was put out.
Put out. Put out.
Put out by the fireman if you consider this info relevant.
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 You know, you see, it's not really necessary to say by the fireman. Okay? So, like in Lebanon, what happened in Beirut yesterday, they are still trying to put out the fire. There are still some isolated fire cases in some areas of the city, okay? After that huge explosion that happened there, okay?
Yes.
That was horrible, okay?
Extremely sad.
So pay attention to what happens with a typical Brazilian. Warderson, can you read the next part for me, please? Please take a look at the examples below.
Please take a look at the examples below and let's talk about them to introduce today's topic. People speak Portuguese in Brazil. They built the house in 1932. The company fired John due to the coronavirus crisis last week.
Crisis. You see, if you stop to analyze the three sentences, grammatically speaking, they are perfect. People, subject, speak, verb. Speak what? Portuguese in Brazil. It's okay. They, subject, built what? That house. When? 1932. Simple past. Beautiful. The company fired John due to the coronavirus crisis last week. All of them are perfect sentences, but all of them are probably only used by Brazilians. Let's understand why. Is there anyone here, Eric or Warlison or me or Carol? Carol, I don't think she has. Or Raquel or Claudia. Is there anyone here who has any kind of pet at home?
No.
In my home, no. In my parents' home.
Okay. What do they have there, Carol? Cats, dog, cows, chicken?
I have a all American breeds caramel.
Ah, you remember the name.
Perfect.
But did you
No.
import it from the United States, or it's all Brazilian breed?
No, it's all Brazilian, teacher.
It's a turn can.
Yeah, at 30.
Yes,
Yeah.
the famous term can.
Oh my gosh. Say this on your meeting on Friday and check the surprised face of the guy, okay?
Yes,
What?
teacher. I try
Yeah.
to say that, yeah.
Okay. Anyway. Okay, Carol.
Teacher,
Yes?
we should say all Brazilian breeds?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's a Brazilian dog. Okay? If she had imported the dog from the USA, it would be an all-American breed. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But anyway, Carol, when you go to your parents' home, do you ever play with your dog?
Yes.
Do you ever talk to your dog like, come here, dog, come here, do this, do that?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And has your dog ever replied to you?
Yes. Of course.
Not really.
Huh?
She's a little, not really, because she's a little old. So sometimes, no.
Okay. But yeah, that was just
They
like
just want to know if she's
Sorry,
able
teacher.
to talk, to really
Yeah.
reply.
Yes.
Yes, I try, but sometimes not
But
possible.
did she ever talk back to you? Like, come in, Carol, come in, Carol.
No,
Or
teacher,
no?
no. Talk, no,
Never.
no.
Never.
No, never, never.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't believe, I know that Isa's dog, by this time he can, or she can, I don't know, already bark in English. Okay? But even though the dog has been watching the class with her every day without paying for the class, the dog has not yet been able to speak English, right, Isa?
Right.
Why
Just
not?
hard.
Yes, why not?
Because
Speaking is an ability that only people have. You can say, oh, teacher, but my neighbor has a parrot that talks a lot. Well, actually, your parrot imitates sounds, just like Gloria imitates a lot of things, okay? But the parrot doesn't talk. You can't go there and say, oh, my friend, I really need to tell you something terrible that happened to me today. He's not going to say, what happened? What happened? Okay? You can't have a normal conversation with any animal because they don't speak. So what happens in English is when you say people speak, it's going to be like, of course, only people speak. Understand? And Brazilians, for example, you meet a guy from Thailand, and then you say, oh, you are from Thailand. Oh, that's nice. I'd love to go to Thailand to visit Fifi Island, okay? To visit some of the beautiful temples. But I'm afraid, what language do people speak in Thailand? The guy's going to look at you like, well, they speak Thai. Okay, like that is a strange question to be asked because the monkeys, the other animals, they don't speak there either. Understand? So the problem here is that it's kind of stupid to say that people speak because only people have this ability. In the second case, if you had told me, for example, my father built that house in 1932, that would be a perfect sentence, perfect, because you're emphasizing the fact that your father built that house, understand? And that is for you an important thing. But when you say they, and you have no idea who they were, you should not use they built. Okay? And the same case applies to number 3, the company fired John. It's not important. The company fired, of course, if he worked for a company, it's the company that fired. So what is important here is that John lost his job. Understand? So let's analyze and discuss all of them because all the sentences above are normally used by Brazilians and they consider them good sentences, but they are all considered bad English, not grammatically wrong, but bad ones. Why? Observe that in the 3 sentences or the 3 sentences above are all in the active voice, since their subjects were responsible for doing the action. The people speak, they built, the company fired. But if you stop to think, in none of them, the subject is either non or important to the phrase. See below. People speak Portuguese in Brazil. In our planet, the ability of speaking belongs only to human beings or people. So it's kind of stupid to say people speak because only people speak. Pets do not speak. They built the house in 1932. Grammatically, this sentence is also perfect. It has a subject, a verb, a complement, and a time expression. But who the hell is they? Is that important for you to understand the phrase? I believe that the important thing is that the house was built in 1932. Has anyone here ever taken those sightseeing tours in any city? You know, that bus where you go inside and there is a guide that keeps saying, if you, there goes the motorcycle.
Right.
If you look to your right, you can see the Colosseum.
Yes.
If you look to your left, you can see the famous Empire State Building. If you look straight ahead, you can see the place where the World Trade Center used to be. So if you ever pay attention to those guides, they will never say, if you look to your right, you can see the Empire State Building. They built the Empire State Building at the beginning of the last century. Never. Those guides, they use passive voice in 99.99% of the situations. Why? Because it's not important who built. What is important is that the building is there. Understand? So if you ever have a chance to take a sightseeing bus and you get, of course, because it's possible to get the recording in many different languages. If you get in English, you will observe, well, it was built, the famous Washington Monument was built in 1865 after the end of the Civil War. It was built by blah, blah, blah. Always passive voice, passive voice. Why? Because she's talking about the importance of the place and not the people that built that. Understand?
Yes.
And as I said, for some reason in Brazil, we prefer to use always active voice and not passive voice. See, the company fired John due to coronavirus or the coronavirus crisis last week. Okay, this is the important thing, which means that John is without a job at the moment. Okay? It's not important who exactly fired John. What is important is that he was fired. Now, if you say, teacher, but it's difficult to change. No, it's not. It's a walk in the park to change a sentence from the active voice to the passive voice. What do you need to do? The object of the active voice is going to be the subject of the passive voice. So you just read the sentence. For example, the company fired. After the verb, you're going to ask one or two questions. Fired who or whom? They built. Built what? It's either who or what. When you ask this question, immediately, the answer is going to be the subject of the passive voice. They fired. Fire whom? John. So John is the subject. They built. Built what? That house. That house is the subject. Okay? Now, in order to create a sentence in the active voice, you always need to introduce the verb to be. Even if you already have the verb to be, you need to introduce it again. Because the passive is formed by verb to be plus the main verb of the sentence in the past participle. You can say, okay, but what about the verb to be? The verb to be depends on the main verb. Okay, look here. They speak. Speak what? Portuguese. So Portuguese is going to be the subject. Speak. Is it in the present or in the past?
Present.
That means what?
Verb to be will be in present.
Thank you, Erica. If the verb of the main sentence is in the present, the verb to be should be in the present. So Portuguese is. Now I need the past participle of the main verb. What is the past participle of speak?
Spoken.
You've done it. And the rest, copy. Portuguese is spoken in Brazil. That's it. Simple. And people, screw the people. It's not important. Forget about it. Okay? So, if you meet a person from Thailand and you want to have a nice conversation, oh, you're from Thailand. I love to go to Thailand. What language is spoken in Thailand? He's going to say Thai. Okay?
Okay.
They built that house in 1932. Again, if you always think like this, what is the subject? They. What's the verb? Built. Built what? That house. Oops, that's the subject. That house. Built. Is it in the present or in the past?
Past.
So I use the verb to be in the past. That house was. What's the past participle of built?
Built.
The same. That house was built in 1932. This would be a perfect construction. Company fired John due to the coronavirus. Here, I forgot the word crisis, but it's okay. Last week. The company fired whom? John. So John fired, present or past?
Past.
John was. Was the past participle of fired?
Fired.
Exactly. John was fired due to the coronavirus last week. Finished. You see? As I said, cup of tea, piece of cake. All right? So,
Right.
pay attention here, please. Carol, can you read this part for me? More details.
Yes. In active voice, the subject of the sentence does the action. John painted the house last week. Subject, verb, object. In the passive voice, the subject of the sentence receives the action. The house was painted last week. subject verb. Not
Okay.
noticing that the object of the active sentence house become the subject of the passive voice.
Okay. So one thing that is very important for you to remember is you must always preserve the tense of the sentence in the active voice. Always. So that's why I gave example with all the tenses that exist in English. Mr. Malinovsky, can you read the number 1? Eric?
Passive, okay, yes.
Yes?
Passive voice use. The passive voice is used when we do not know who did the action. Example, the documents were stolen.
The documents were stolen.
The documents were stolen.
Okay.
We don't know who stole the documents.
Yes, it's just like when a hacker invades your computer, okay? Can you identify who the hacker is?
No.
Hey, Eric, you are a computer expert. Is it possible to identify the hacker? Oh, Mr. Malinovsky.
It's possible, I think.
Yes? Wow.
Sometimes it's possible.
The guy's a genius. Okay. So is it possible to track down and identify who stole some database or some files from your computer?
Difficult, but I think it's possible.
Okay. So in this case, you could say like John Malkovich, cousin of Malinovsky, stole some files from my computer. But most of the time, what he would say is something like, oh my gosh, some files were stolen from my computer, or some data were stolen from my computer. By the way, data is plural. Data is not singular, okay? So some data were stolen, okay? It's the same case here. The documents were stolen. We don't have any idea who stole the documents. We only know that the documents were stolen. Okay?
Okay.
Read the second case, Mr. Malinovsky.
Okay. The receiver of the action is more important. Example, the pyramid.
No, pyramids.
The pyramids were built in early 5,000
I think so.
5,000 years ago by the ancient Egyptians.
Yes. You see, what am I trying to emphasize? That ancient Egyptians built the pyramids? No, that's not important. What is important is that the pyramids
Were built.
Oh, he's frozen.
What's happening? What's
He's
happening?
frozen.
Teacher's frozen.
He's gonna. Let's just wait. He'll come,
Stay here, please.
he'll come back, I guess.
The teacher is frozen.
Yeah,
Yes.
totally. The teacher, now no, no more.
The teacher is not present.
No.
Yeah.
It's not present.
I hope people.
Let's wait, no?
Yeah.
Yes,
Come back,
yes, I
yeah.
think in a few minutes he's back. He'll be back.
Minha gente, eu tô apavorada com gramática. Eu sou péssima com isso.
So I think it's easy to, not easy, but it's easier to understand than use this in a conversation. I think this is more
yeah.
difficult.
Very difficult. Very difficult. I am able to do the exercise, but when I talk, oh my gosh,
Yes.
I have the ability to forget
Forgot.
everything.
Yes.
Yes, the same
The
true.
perfects, I
It's so
never
hard.
use it. Yes, I never use the perfects. Never.
You need to
Yes.
practice to use the correct
You're-
grammar and things like that.
Yeah.
I know, but I'm not able to use in a conversation.
Yeah, me
It's
too. I
hard.
have the, yeah, I
I
have the
guess in
same
my
problem.
mind, it's okay. It's
But
already,
if you talk,
yes, but if I think to do it, it starts to be hard for me.
Yes.
practice,
Yeah,
practice more.
Stop saying bad things about me. I'm back.
Welcome back, teacher.
As I was saying, I think the internet in Italy was also invented about 5,000 years ago, okay? Because it's amazing.
Teacher,
It is
we
gold.
Can't
See
see.
you.
teacher.
Oh, Carol,
Yeah,
can you
now
see
you
me
come
now?
back. Yes,
Oh,
teacher.
now yes.
Much better.
Now it's all right.
It's very funny. I love when the girls say this. Teacher, I can't see you. I can't see 92% of my...
No,
You were important for us, teacher.
Yes, of course.
They're here just to see you.
You
Teacher,
can
in this
see
time,
me. You can
Okay.
see me.
in this time, it's
Yeah.
impossible.
Yes.
James.
It's interesting, okay? So you want to see me all the time, but I can't see anybody. Regina only shows herself when
Oh,
she's on the beach.
teacher, I'm
Okay.
here, teacher.
Still.
I am here too, with pajamas.
Me too, me too.
Look at the hair. Look at Regina.
No.
It's amazing. Regina.
Only the
Carol.
Regina. Because
Oh, I'm
Oh.
here, teacher.
Carol, can I be honest with you?
I am better in morning. Okay.
You are so different.
You are beautiful.
On the contrary, your hair looks better now than in the morning.
Really, teacher?
I think you forgot to brush your hair in the morning, okay? Okay?
Okay.
Anyway, my internet was invented about the same time of the pyramids, 5,000 years ago, because there is a slight chance of a rain, it falls. Okay? It's not even raining.
Here too, teacher.
Yes?
Florianopolis.
Okay. Let me share the screen again so we can finish. Okay, let me see if Google is going to tell me where it stopped. Yes. Okay.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, that's an advantage. That's an advantage of the cloud. The cloud has a good memory. Okay. What is this number 2 doing here? Okay. Now, Regina, can you read the next part for me, please? Number 2, passive form.
To change an active voice sentence to a passive voice sentence. 1. Make the object of the active sentence in the subject of the passive sentence. 2. Use the verb to be in the same tense as the main verb of the active sentence.
Main.
Main. Use the past participle of the main verb of the active sentence. Here are some active and passive voice as example to help.
Okay, so let me change the the page, so you will be able to see both of them together. Okay. Oh,
Active. People drink champagne on New Year's Eve. Passive. Champagne is drunk on New Year's Eve.
you see.
Active.
Go ahead. Chefs use
Chefs use these
machines
to mix the ingredients. Ingredients. These machines are used to mix the ingredients. Wow. And they renovated the restaurant in 2004. The restaurant was renovated in 2004.
And the last one.
Active. The teachers informed the students that the class had been canceled.
Had been canceled.
Class had been canceled. The students were informed. Sorry, teacher. The students were informed. Oh my God! Informed that the class had been canceled.
Okay, easy, huh?
No.
All right.
All right.
Examples, yes.
Yes, of course. Always the examples. It's easy.
There goes Isa's motorcycle. Always at the same time. So let's see what happens. Oh, Isa, your turn. Passive voice, present.
In the present, the passive voice uses the verbs is and are plus past participle of the main verb. The passive voice present is often used to describe processes. First, the apples were picked. Apples.
Are picked.
First, the apples. Apples are picked, then they are cleaned, and finally they are packed and shipped to the market.
You see, Carol, that's why I was telling you that usually when you're writing contracts, you have a lot of legal process, understand? Yeah. And then you have a sequence here. If you observe, the entire sequence of the process is in the passive voice. Well, first the apples are picked, then they are cleaned, and finally they are packed and shipped to the market. Okay? Mm-hmm. General thoughts, opinions, and beliefs. Isa.
New York is considered the most diverse city in the U.S.
I have heard both pronunciations, diverse or diverse, okay? City in the U.S. Don't ask me which one is correct because I don't know. I think it's a matter of British dialect, whatever. It's just like directions, director, okay? Either, either, neither, neither, okay? So you see, New York is considered the most diverse city in the U.S. Who considers that? I don't know. It's a general belief, okay?
Okay.
The other one.
That the plane crashed in the Pacific Ocean.
Okay.
Hungarian is seen as one of the world's most difficult languages to learn. Skin cancers are thought to be caused by excessive exposure to the sun.
Okay. Here, there is something very important that I would like to add. If you guys ever decided to read the newspaper, you will notice exactly what I'm going to say. You will see common expressions like these. It is reported, it has been said, it was mentioned. Okay? It is believed. This is classical in newspapers or even in the news. Why?
Yes.
It's a very interesting thing. Newspapers never reveal the source of information. Understand? For example, I was reading CNN News today, and according to CNN, it's being reported that all personnel that used to work at the docks were sent to home prison. All. But they didn't say who ordered, who declared, or anything. It's being reported. Understand? Because a newspaper will never, under any circumstance, mention the name of the source of the information. Never. Okay? So these
Teacher.
sentence, yes, Carol.
Let me ask something. It's about vocabulary. How can
Okay.
how can I say, for example, when I have the image, and this image is, this is the word that I don't know, in the newspaper, for example.
It was shown.
Shown.
What?
It was shown.
Shown.
That's participle to show.
But for example, and I think I can use that.
Expose it.
And this for books or reports, for example.
Demonstrated. Well, I don't know.
Publicado, for example, I needed to speak in Portuguese.
It was published.
Can be published, or we can use the the other word, for example.
If you don't know when, you can say it has been
published. Okay. And the image can be shown. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, like I imagine that you are defending a criminal. I know that's not your area of expertise, but you could say in court, for example, the evidences have shown that my client, the evidence have shown that my client was not even near this murder scene.
Okay.
Okay?
Perfect. Thank
All
you,
right.
teacher.
No problem. Now, let's continue this. Any question about the above sentences or no?
No.
Okay, I forgot. I have another very important sentence to tell you. Imagine, for example, I have mentioned here that I know New York City better than I know São Paulo. Remember, I said this, I think, yesterday. Okay?
Yes.
So imagine that you're going to New York and you would like to buy a specific thing, and I know a place where they have it for sale at a very good price. And then you are trying to find this place that I mentioned because it's kind of a secret place, okay? Like there is a bar in New York. It's very funny bar. The bar was open during the time in which it was prohibited to drink alcohol, okay? The dry age period. So you could not sell alcohol. So it's very interesting. There is a hot dog store, a hot dog shop, where you go inside and they sell real hot dogs, okay? But there is the telephone at the end of this hot dog. You go there, you get the telephone, you press any number, and a voice says, yes. How many people in your party? You say 4, 5, 6, just me. Okay. And then they press a button and the wall opens and you go inside and there is a secret bar. Understand? It's an amazing bar. And you can even get hot dogs from inside of the bar because they don't sell hot dogs at the bar, but they make it outside and they send it inside, okay? Yes,
Where is it?
I'm sorry?
Where is?
It's somewhere near Soho, okay?
Okay.
But anyway, let's suppose that I tell you about this bar and you get curious, you want to go there, okay? Because it's still working, okay? And if you continue walking, you can get out of the bar on another street. But let's suppose that you can't find the bar because it's not, there is no sign, bar, or anything. There is a hot dog store, but there are so many in New York. Imagine that you are walking on the street and then you say, "Excuse me, sir, my English teacher told me that there is a secret underground bar somewhere near here." Imagine, the guy's going to look at you and says, "Who the fuck is your English teacher? You know, my English teacher." Is that relevant for the conversation? Of course not. So there is an expression that I myself use it intensively. I use a lot when I am not lost, not in New York, but somewhere. I usually stop someone on the street and I say, "Excuse me, sir."
I was
Or, "Oh, Dirce remembers."
Damn.
I'm trying, but the computer is not helping me. Ma'am, come on. I was told there is blah, 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 blah. This is the best possible sentence that you can use. Now, if you try to translate this, it's impossible. We don't have such a construction in Portuguese. Understand? So if I really need to translate this because it's part of my job, you would probably say, "Me falaram," "me disseram."
Alguém me
But
disse.
that's the case. Forget about alguém. Alguém is passive, active.
Okay.
Okay? That's exactly the point. Alguém is not important. And that's what I told you. Brazilians always insist on using passive voice. Who is alguém? You see? In English, you would say, "Somebody told me." It's the same case of my English told me. My English teacher. So, me falaram, me disseram. Okay? This is I was told. I was told. This is a classical construction in English. Okay? Any question about this or no?
No.
Okay. We practically finished this. We only have to do a few more things and we can already go. Okay? The rest here is only examples in all the possible tenses. And if you have time to read this, I would greatly appreciate. Tomorrow, I will focus my class in this last note. This is probably the most important thing. What to do when you have two objects, okay? Because, yes. It's what?
Misericórdia. It was, is a telling.
Oh, Carol.
Yes.
Have some mercy on this girl, please, Carol. Okay? Or I'll make her turn some cans, okay?
Yeah.
All right. I hope you have all a wonderful evening. I see you guys tomorrow at the same time, at the same place. And for sure, we'll be finished this tomorrow, okay?
Okay, teacher.
Okay.
See you.
teacher.
Thank you. Good
Bye,
evening.
guys.
Thank you.
Bye
Have a
bye.
great evening.
Bye.
You
And I'll
too,
see you
teacher.
Bye,
tomorrow.
guys. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
I
Thank
see
you.
you.
teacher.
Bye
Bye bye. Bye everyone. Bye Watson. Bye me.
Bye,
Bye,
teacher.
teacher.
Bye Eric.
Bye, teacher. See you.
Bye Regina. See ya.
Bye. See you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
See you tomorrow.
Get a nice tan tomorrow, huh?